Welcome to the Black Diamond Podcast. I'm your host, Will White, and I'm joined with a good friend of mine who's in the fitness industry. And we're going to have a great episode today about fitness and what you can do to get started on your fitness journey in 2023. Let's get into it. All right. Welcome to the podcast, guys. A few announcements before we get into the episode today. This is episode 3 of the Black Diamond Pod, and I want to get to 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram at Black Diamond Pod. Follow us on Twitter at BDiamondPod. And let's get started with introductions. You want to introduce yourself, Conrad? Let people know who you are and what you're about.
Sure, man. My name is Conrad. Definitely, know Will for some years now, and happy to be here and support the podcast. I've been in personal training for about 2 years now, so fairly new to the industry, but I do extensive research into what's going on with sports medicine, the body, nutrition, and so that's kind of my background there.
Okay. What's your age? And how did you kind of get started on your fitness journey, or
Mm-hmm. I'm 29. Recently turned 29 in December, and what got me into my fitness journey was I wanted to feel better, mentally, physically. I just felt that I could have more energy, run more efficiently, think better, and that's what kind of got me experimenting with fitness. And I definitely saw improvements in those areas, and that's why I kind of got into training. I want to be able to spread that knowledge to other people, help them as well.
Okay, cool. So on top of training, like what else do you what else do you implement in your like daily lifestyle?
Besides training, watching what I eat, I guess. Making sure that I'm getting the nutrients that isn't that we need to. I'm in the body, and I think everybody should be doing that, especially in this the days we're in currently.
Right.
Definitely important to know what you're getting in your body.
So this tells viewers you're plant-based, right?
I am.
So tell us a little bit about that. How did you get started in plant-based? What made you want to do plant-based? What type of benefits you saw? But let's say what made you get into plant-based?
So people get into it for a few reasons. For me, it was the health side of things. I just saw, how a lot of issues that we experience as we get up there in age, and sometimes even at a young age, that are caused by certain animal products. And so I just again wanted to try to feel better in my life because my energy was low. I couldn't think clearly. A lot of brain fog. Mentally, for me, was the biggest thing. And so that's what made me make the switch there.
How hard was that switch? Because I be thinking about because trying a little vegan dish every now and then, but
Mm-hmm.
to go fully, what? All right, so let's talk about this. What is the difference between vegan and plant-based for the people who don't know?
Okay. I would say vegan is more of an ideology. Like the
Okay.
people who identify as vegan kind of lean more towards of the animals, and so it
Yeah.
goes beyond diet. So like no leather or no products that support animal that have animal testing and
Mhm.
bringing them to the market. So it's more of more focused on the animals and more of a lifestyle, which I agree with in some areas, but I mostly identify with plant-based because the main focus of that is the nutrients that you're getting in your body, and getting to a new level of health and fitness and wellness, as opposed to other areas.
Okay. So yeah, back to what I was referring to. Like I tried some vegan dishes
Hmm.
every now and then, right? But making that full switch, I don't know, it's kind of hard because most of my proteins on a daily basis come from, chicken breast, steak, ground beef. How did you make that switch and like how did you supplement getting all your nutrients from just plants?
Hmm. Um, so yeah, a couple of things there. Well, firstly, it takes research. Like,
Mhm.
you have to, if you're serious about it, you can look into, you know, uh, different like substitutes and things like that. What got me into it was, the teachings of Dr. Sebi, which I'm
Oh,
sure,
Dr. Sebi.
yes, some of your
Yes.
viewers are aware of.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so there's just a lot of misconceptions in
Mhm.
what we're taught as what we need for the body, and that was another thing that got me interested in it as well. But yeah, there's definitely swaps, and also like you asked, it's going to be different levels of difficulty for each people.
Mhm.
Like, there's a cultural aspect as well, like depending on your background, things like that. A lot of cultures are heavily focused in meat
Yeah.
and animal products. So it just takes knowledge and consistency to do that.
So for that person like me, like I'm a big meat eater, but like I'll eat a
Hmm.
vegan dish every now and then. How would I substitute like chicken breast or something like that? Like what do you do to supplement your protein by not eating meat?
Hmm. So there's a couple, again, misconceptions.
Mhm.
There are rare. It's very rare for someone to be on a low protein. There's a name for it, but when you're not getting enough protein in the body,
Mhm.
almost everything we eat has protein in it.
Mm.
Now, when it comes to weight training, that's a different situation. But firstly, just to say, almost everything we eat has protein in it. Um, and so the way they break down what protein is, also in the mainstream science community, we've seen that that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
So it just takes um, each person to do their own research. Now, with a plant-based diet, I do get more carbs in probably than normal.
Mhm.
Other diets like keto and things like that. But I'll give you an example, like oatmeal. I have that all the time, and um, that's a mostly a carb, but it has a good amount of protein in it. So if you read the labels, what's going into your body. Is very simple to do. And so my main sources are grains, oatmeal, quinoa, legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, um, and yeah, vegetables also, they have protein in it as well. So
Mhm.
as you research more, you'll understand that you can definitely get these things in easily.
So it's really just like research and your personal preference on like what you like. Because basically everything has protein. It's just like, do you have to? Well, yeah, everything has protein in it, but I guess it just varies on how much you're consuming, the amount that you're consuming of that certain plant, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
Cool.
so
Cool.
calories is another thing as well, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to, again, this is more of like the weight training side if you're trying to make like strength gains or hypertrophy gains.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, there's calories as well. So you have to make sure you're eating enough. And as you eat more of these things, you're getting more protein in at the same time.
So you brought up keto, and there's
Mhm.
like keto, paleo, and a whole bunch of other crazy diets. Do you think those diets are just like fads? Do you think they actually do anything? Are they beneficial in any degree, or
Mhm.
well, compare them to plant based? Do you think those other diets are beneficial compared to plant based?
Compared to plant based, that's an interesting question. But I will say, they have some benefits, but there's also just as many negative side
Right.
effects.
Hmm.
So anything with a quick fix, or you see yourself losing weight quickly, your body, it's not so going to be so good on your body. Um, and so I'll give you an example with keto. Um, so that's like, limiting your carbs, and you're focused mostly on protein and fats.
Hmm.
What that does is that puts the body into what is it called? Ketosis.
Shock. Oh, is that like a shock
Um,
or something? It shocks your
it's sort
system.
of, yeah, it's kind of like a starvation mechanism in the body.
Mm.
So your body's, instead of running on fuel, on carbs for fuel, which the brain does as well, you're running on fats. And so you'll see your body fat go down, but there'll be other detriments. Your sleep won't be as good. Um, your skin, you'll start, having some reactions. These are things that are reported.
Yeah.
So there's always a reaction when something's too quick.
So for everybody who doesn't know what keto is when you cut out all carbs and sugars, right? The keto diet is carbs and sugars.
I believe so. I don't know about the sugar, but I know carbs for sure. Carbs for sure.
Okay.
So no rice, things like that. Like an example would be like eggs and avocado. You have vegetables as well, I believe, but
Yeah.
mm,
But no bread and no
yeah,
pasta, things like that. You cut out all of that
exactly.
in keto.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, that makes sense that your body would just go into shock because if you've been eating that for 20 years plus and then you just stop, it makes sense. Because carbs have a function in your body. It gives your body energy. They use it for energy.
Yep, that's right.
Hmm.
That's right. So that's I would say it does lean on a fad, a
Yeah.
fad diet. But yeah, these things are important in our body. So
Okay, cool.
mm,
So, what are three things you think men can do to get in shape for 2023?
hmm, okay. So we're talking about diet. Yeah, first thing is just to be aware of what's going in your body. Um, you should be reading that label, ingredients, how much
Hmm.
calories you're getting. I think men should be more familiar with that.
Yeah.
And that's like a big factor in, how we function, health and wellness. As a man as well, weight training, if you can, it doesn't have to be like, strength training, things like that, but that's shown to improve, testosterone in the body. Um,
Hmm.
Definitely a lot of other benefits as well. And makes you feel better, makes you feel more confident going throughout your life. So definitely that's another
So,
thing.
so when you say
Mhm.
weight training, do you mean just like going to the gym, or can they do like some at home workouts?
Yeah, it could be anything you like. It doesn't have to be dumbbells, but compound movements. Calisthenics is definitely, something very simple that you could do.
Yep.
You do it anywhere. Good for your body, and it's not easy too, depending on what you do. You can definitely make it difficult and intense. So
Especially if you have a high body weight, like say your body weight's in the 200s, calisthenics is a good way to just like build that overall endurance for your body. So when you do go to the gym, you have some good relative strength, you know.
right, exactly. I
Getting
have
used to your
some
own body weight is like very good for you just to build up strength. So you're able to like push up big weights in the gym.
definitely,
Hmm.
and that should be a foundation. You should be able to be comfortable with calisthenics before you even hop into the weights. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, it's a big one.
So what type of calisthenics exercises do you think people should like get started with?
Okay. Definitely the basic ones for sure. They're underestimated, the
Hmm.
push up.
Hmm.
Um, and that movement pattern simulates, almost everything else we do. Bench
Hmm.
presses, all the other stuff. So if you're not comfortable with your body weight first, you shouldn't be hopping on the bench. Um,
Yeah,
but
very true.
yeah, that's good. One thing I want to mention though too, I have some clients that are like on the obese side.
Hmm.
So a lot of people get discouraged when they can't do like one rep successfully, but there's regressions. You can stand while doing a push up. You could use the yoga ball against the wall. So there's different ways to do it. It just takes
So
you
just
know.
explain what a regression is for everybody who doesn't know.
Okay, so that just means making exercise easier, so you can
Hmm.
do it more correctly, get more range of motion. So if someone's on the obese side, a lot of patterns when they're facing the floor directly,
Mhm.
it's not good for them. So you have to, find ways around that, make the exercise a little bit easier, but still challenging, so that you can eventually get to, the correct way to do exercise.
So an example of that would be like if you can't do a push up on your own, you would like lay on your knees and do like just a halfway push up to begin with until you build up to doing a full push up.
That's a great example. Yep.
Hmm. All right. So what's that third thing you think people should do? Diet. We have workout. And what's that third thing?
Hmm. I would say do your cardio. This is something
Mm,
that I've slacked on for a long time, but it's very, very beneficial. It gives you more work capacity. One, so when you're in the gym and you go for your weight training session, you'll be able to lift more because your heart can handle. You have more endurance, basically. You know, and you can bring that outside of the gym as well. Just functioning, you'll have more energy. When it comes time to the bedroom, you have a little more stamina.
hey,
Um,
fellas, that's important.
yeah, I know they care about that.
Uh huh.
Um, but yeah, that's definitely a good thing for the third one.
So do you have like your own fitness routine that you're working in right now?
Um, yeah, I do. I try to change it up every couple months, but the foundation is pretty much the same. Um, I would say push pull legs,
Hmm.
training split as a foundation, but I also have certain days for any areas that I feel like I'm lagging.
Yeah.
I recently implemented an arm day.
Hmm.
Seen some good improvement there. So it's just about paying attention to your body, and that's kind of what I like about weight training and fitness. Um, it's really when you get down to it, it brings more awareness into your body. So
Yeah.
you're feeling the different muscles working, you're connecting with your body more. So that's why I like it a lot.
Now, push pull legs is something like I do on the regular too.
Mhm,
And before that, I was like following people, following different workouts, and they were like throwing in arms one day, they were arms and back one day, chest and legs one day. And it can get like just like really confusing when you're following different workouts and you don't know like what to do in the gym.
mhm,
But push pull legs is just simple, basic, and the premise behind it is that on your push days you do exercises that would require like pushing movement. So for example, you have your bench press, you have your shoulder press, you have what other exercises do you think people can do on their push day?
Push day. You said chest press, shoulder press,
Hmm.
flies, chest flies as
Flies,
well,
right?
dips.
Dips.
Hmm.
So those are all simple exercises you just focus on your push day, and then they target your chest, triceps, certain parts of your shoulder, and
Hmm.
you can even well, yeah, certain parts of your shoulder and things like that. And then on your pull days is when you would do like your pull-ups, you would do your rows, your lat pulls, pull downs. What other exercises do you think people do on their pull days?
Did you
trying to
mention
think of
pull-ups?
some. Yeah, pull-ups,
Pull-ups. Hmm.
pull-ups, your pull-ups back, well, pull-ups, the row machine that all
Hmm.
target your back. And then there's some other exercises for your pull days. Is usually just like your back and your biceps.
Hmm.
So your pull days will focus on your biceps, and then your push days focus on your triceps. So in your pull days, you do your curls and things like that. And it's just real simple. You stick to those basic exercises and you don't have to worry about, oh shit, did I miss my chest day? Oh shit, did I miss my shoulder day? Anything. It's not confusing.
Hmm.
You can miss a day and just pick it right back up. So that's why I really like push pulling legs. Um
Right. There's
what
other splits
are
as well, but you have to
Mhm.
just find out what works for you. But it's good to just have a foundation. Like if you feel that
Yeah.
full body workout is good for you, you like doing all your compound movements on one day and then isolation after. That's good too. But it's good to have a foundation rather than just following everyone else's different workouts online.
Yep. And consistency trumps everything in the gym
Mhm,
overall. As if you're showing up and putting in the work, like you feel like you've done something in the gym, that's going to trump you following paying $200 for somebody's workout and barely showing up. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
consistency is important more than anything.
Yep. And consistency is going when you don't feel like going, not just when you're
Yes,
excited to go to the gym. When you don't feel like it, and you push yourself and you go there anyway. That's real consistency.
that's what consistency. When it's
Mhm.
fucking raining outside, snowing, sunny, doesn't matter. You're in the gym. You
That's
know,
right.
you use whatever you're going through in your life, and you just hit the gym. And I think that's what right now it's January, whatever. We're in the first quarter of 2023,
Mhm.
and this is where gyms are packed. And then as you start to like go towards March or whatever, that's when it starts to dwindle down. And then you see the real people who are like serious about their fitness are there from like spring to summer when it's nice outside. When it's nice outside, they're in the gym.
Mhm.
So, that's important too for men. You have consistency is going to be the key for you attaining hypertrophy, right?
Mhm.
When your body goes through that phase where it starts burning fat and putting on more muscle.
Mhm. Gains.
Yeah. So, what are three of your favorite workouts that you like to do in the gym?
Your favorite workouts. Hmm. Um, I like to, keep it simple. I start with the compound movements first. You
Hmm.
know, um, and what I like to do, because I do basically a lot of the same workouts, but you can play around with the intensity. So you go on a bench press, and what is your priority is what you put first in your workout. So say you put your bench press first, you can start with like a strength set. So you can go on the lower rep range, 6 to 8, or even as low as 5. Um, you do that for a couple of weeks, then switch it up. Once you get to that weight that you want to get to, then you stay at that weight, and then instead of trying to push with putting more plates on, you go higher reps. So that constant adaptation of the muscle is what will definitely benefit you. So yeah, keep
One
a compound first and then isolation after.
one thing about that you brought up, that was a good point.
Mm.
Can you still build muscle by doing a weight that's like that? Say you do 10 reps of bench press at 135.
Mm.
Can you still build muscle if you do more reps? But you don't want to go up in weight because you don't want to risk something. So can you still build muscle if you're doing maybe 20 reps of 135, even though you could comfortably do 10?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good question. There's a lot of debate about this in
Hmm.
the fitness industry. But from what I've seen in my research and also the NASM certification, um, what really matters is that point at which you hit failure. So that last rep is where you'll really see the growth. Um, so even with calisthenics, you can see a lot of people get big off of calisthenics. And so say you can do 25 push-ups and that's your max. On that last rep, that's what's really triggering that growth in your
Hmm.
muscle. Now, lifting weights is more efficient. So instead of hitting 25, reps on a push up to get that growth, you could take a chest press with dumbbells. Say you're doing 60, and you would get to 10 on that. That would trigger the same growth. So it's like more efficient, but it's not needed necessarily to lift heavy weights.
Right.
Um, there's an argument that it could be faster, but also it's a lot of more pressure on your joints. So in the long run, it's not so good. Um, but a lot of people have that in their mind, and that stops them from doing what they can. If they don't have money for a high end gym or they don't have access to this equipment, it's really just about pushing yourself. You know.
Yeah. Those effective reps. So those last, I think it was like the last 5 reps or maybe 2 to 5 reps of your set, depending on the weight and who you are. Those are like your most effective reps in your set, and that's actually like what triggers the muscle growth.
Mhm.
So that's important.
That's right.
And the key is to just continually push yourself. If you know you have like, well, yeah, if you know you have like an injury or something and you can't really go super heavy, don't
Mhm.
go super heavy. Just try to go for those more effective reps and pushing yourself in a higher rep range.
Mhm.
So those
And
are
it's
good things.
also it's a marathon, not a sprint. So if you go in the
True.
gym one day, you go super hard, that's great, but can you make it back to the gym to
Hmm.
consistently do
Right.
that? Because one workout's not gonna do it for you, you know. So you
Yeah.
gotta pace yourself.
Like we know a lot of people are in the gym right now, but when when it comes to that spring and summertime starts getting nice out, a lot of people are gonna start falling off. So the
Hmm.
main thing is just being consistent. Consistency. So what workouts did we go over your three favorite workouts? Yeah, no, we just went over one. Compound.
3 favorite.
Yeah. What
Oh,
workouts do
like
you like
just
to do in the gym?
exercises.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What do I like? Hmm.
Like what three workouts would you say you can't give up?
I see. All right. First one,
Hmm.
pull-ups. The standard pull-up.
Mm,
You could do them anywhere, and I tell you, it's like one of the best movements for your back. And if you've gotten to the point where you can do a few reps and you're really challenging yourself on the bar, you can feel it definitely. Um, Low risk of injury too. It's like just a standard movement. Um, yeah, I definitely put that. It's probably one of my favorites. Um, hmm, what else do I do? Another basic one. Those push-ups.
mm-hmm.
Um, After a hard chest day, or even if you don't have time, just wherever you're at, you could just burn out as many push-ups as you can. you
Yep.
know and there's a way to make it more intense. If you put something under your hands, or you have like a bar, we can get more range of motion, get more of a stretch in the chest. You really feel it. And so I also like exercises that are low risk, because again, it's not you know how much you can do in one day. If you limit your risk of injury, you can go longer. you know
Mm-hmm.
Third
Would be
exercise.
would be your last one.
Hmm. Hmm. I would say the hammer strength
Mm-hmm.
incline, or actually any of them, incline, flat, or decline.
Yeah.
I think you've seen them before. I don't know how to explain it, but it's with the one with the plates, and you're seated. With that, it takes the stability out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you're in a safe position, and you can really just lock out and focus on putting the weight on. Um,
Oh, the decline chest press. That's what you're talking about?
yes, but you're kind of upright. You're upright. I know
Okay.
you seen them at LA Fitness when we go.
Yeah, I've seen them. It's
Mhm.
the one that yeah, you're like pushing like this. You're like pushing down, so it targets your lower chest, I would say.
Depending on what you want to do. There's 3 of them. So you got the
Okay.
incline for the top, and the decline. I like the decline, because you really get a good contraction there. But yeah, I'm on that thing whenever I can.
Yeah, those are all good machines and workouts. So, your personal trainer,
Mhm.
for the men out there that kind of want to get started in this biz, how did you personally get started, and what kind of tips do you recommend it, and what kind of tips would you give to somebody trying to get started in that?
Mhm. So I'll be honest. I still consider myself fairly new in the industry.
Mm,
Um, but so far, I would recommend it, especially if you are into fitness. Um, because one thing that I found is I would have friends and family come and ask me like for advice, or tell me, oh, I don't feel so good, and I want to get to the gym. I want to work out. I want to change my life. But a lot of those times, they say these things, but they're not serious. And when you get into personal training, and you have clients that are paying you and they respect you, they're willing to listen,
yeah.
and they're willing to put in that work
Hmm.
majority of the time. You still have times where you have to motivate them a little more, but generally you're in contact with people who respect and will listen to your advice. So it's not falling on deaf ears.
Yeah.
Um, how I got started, I was just going to different gyms in the area and asking, how do I get into training? Or I would speak with trainers that I saw and say, like, how do you like working in this industry, and what did you do to get started? And so I got in contact with one small gym, and they put me on to a contracting fitness company that they use, and I went on an interview, and they gave me the chance. But from what I've seen, a certification is important. Um, you know, there's different views. I have my own personal view about certifications, but it is important to have that knowledge documented. Commercial gyms won't hire you without it, even if you have current clients. And that was something that I ran into. Um, so you have to invest that time as well. And there's some
And
good things in it as well, that you can use to see where your clients are at, measure their current level of fitness before you get started with them. So
yeah.
some good things there.
And I would say the certification is probably just good to have for that general knowledge, right? Just teaching you things about the fitness industry and
Mm.
how to properly train people that most people overlook.
I would say so. It's a good foundation, but that alone is not enough, I don't think, to be a trainer.
Okay.
You
What
have to
else
do
do you
your
think you
own
need?
research. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to do your own research, and you also have a passion. Um, you know, because if you're just drowning yourself in information just to get a certification, that's not going to do it. One thing that certs don't teach you either is programming and also nutrition. Now, there's other certs down the line, but it makes me think, why is all this information included that is not so helpful when the things that are safe for another certification? So, from what I've seen from these companies, they kind of lean more towards the marketing rather than actually taking care of the trainers. So you have to be aware of that. You know, you have to go through the process because that's how it is. But just be
Yeah.
aware that you need to do your own research. And yeah.
Do you think that being plant-based gives you an edge in the market as a trainer because you have that nutrition knowledge?
I do. I do. I wasn't sure how that would go at first, but I do. And nutrition is just as important, if not more important, than getting yourself into the gym because you can't outwork, a bad diet.
Yeah, that's
And
true,
there's a
yo. You cannot outwork a bad diet, no matter what you do, no matter how many reps you do in the gym or whatever workouts you're doing. If your diet is
Mhm.
fucked up, your body's gonna represent that.
Very true, very true. And yeah, I've also been put, it's kind of like a niche as well because I also want to say that I wasn't always vegan, so I'm able to provide diet plans and nutrition plans for those who are still on the standard way of eating.
Mhm.
But one thing that's important in the market is to have your own niche, which is like your own specialty that kind of separates you. So a lot of clients who are vegan or vegetarian, um, they feel more comfortable with a trainer who has that knowledge. So they would come to me over others.
Yep. It's good right there. You gotta set yourself apart.
Mhm.
Gotta set yourself apart.
Any way you can.
Yep. So I want to talk about this aesthetic physique. I feel like a lot of people go to the gym to kind of achieve this aesthetic physique.
Mhm.
Do you think it's actually attainable for most people, for the average person? And how long do you think it would take them to achieve that?
Well, it depends on who they're looking at to define aesthetic,
Mhm.
because those people that are doing certain workouts or saying using certain supplements, a lot of times not the case. But I do say that for what most people want is look good when they go on the beach and have the shirt off. That's definitely attainable. The thing is that it takes more time and more effort into what you're putting into your body than people are willing to do or they're not aware of. Um, so it is possible, but it just takes a lot more hard work than what people think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you made a good point. The people that you see online and who whatever physique you want to build, you have to be wary of who you're watching because sometimes it's not 100% natural. So what they're showing online may just be something that they achieved with, various supplements,
Mhm.
you know? So, yeah, watch out for that and just know that with consistency and time, I guess you'll achieve that body that you want. You'll achieve a decent body if you're consistent.
Mhm.
Let's say that. You'll achieve a decent body. All right.
Oh, there's some bad news with that too. You can push yourself to the highest potential that you can do, but
Mhm.
it is down to your genetics at the end of the day. So if you compare
Mm.
yourself to somebody else and you don't look exactly, or at the same level as them, that might disappoint you. But you just have to kind of, work with what you got. You know.
Yeah. Like if you're comparing yourself to like a 6'5" football player who's like 220 pounds and you're 5'7" and you weigh 150, like bro, that's not gonna happen.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean you can't achieve something decent for who you are and what your size is like.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So out of 10, how important is it for men to stay in shape to be attractive to women, you think?
Mm. I would say I would say a 9, if not a 10. You know.
Ooh, really all the way.
Hmm. I
Mm,
would. Now you don't have to be, you know, um, like on the elite level, you know,
right.
but if you're out of shape and you're not, first off, you're not going to feel good,
Mhm.
and I would say the physical matters as much as no one wants to admit. Um, the first impression is to I would think to a woman is how you look, you know.
It is.
Um,
Your looks
Now your
matter.
personality and your game
Yep.
afterwards keeps her around, but I would say it's very important, and not even just for that, but just for you feeling good within your own body. That's gonna come off. That's gonna come off well, as opposed to you not challenging yourself, physically, you know, every day.
Yeah. When you realize that you're spending a certain amount of time in the gym and you're working out and you're building this this dream body that you have in mind that you created for yourself,
Mhm,
you're going to have a certain level of confidence that you're going to build up too. Going to the gym not only builds your body, but it builds you mentally. Put you're consciously putting yourself through pain for a purpose. So that right there says something about who you are. You're willing to do something that puts you out of your comfort zone for a bigger purpose. So that level of confidence and motivation that you're going to have for yourself is going to be seen and attractive to the other gender.
mhm, mhm.
Cool.
I like that you said that because again, it doesn't go. There's benefits beyond the physical.
Yeah.
You know, you feeling good and you feeling confident. That's going to show. You know.
Do you think going plant-based has gotten you more women over the years? Or have you ever used it as an advantage to getting somebody?
Interesting question. Um, Now there have been times where it doesn't work out so well.
Mhm.
You know, um, like, oh, you don't eat meat. You know, but I would say more often than not, it actually works in my favor. My personal
Mhm.
experience. One, they're interested. It's like, oh, this is something different. You know,
Yeah.
um, and then two, when you don't look when you look like you're in shape or you look that you have energy, people wonder, okay, what is this person doing? You know, and then also being on a plant based diet has gotten me more, um, my cooking skills have kind of improved, and so I could cook a woman a nice plant-based meal that they're gonna love. Once they try the food, it's over.
Right,
So
because I
there's been
mean,
some benefit.
there's not a lot of restaurants that are, I mean, there's more than there were before, but still, you find yourself having to do a lot more of the cooking, right? Just on a daily basis.
Yes and no. We're in New York City,
Hmm.
probably one of the most, the highest population of like restaurants that are plant based. So there's a lot of options. The thing is, it starts to get expensive after a while, especially these days.
Hmm.
But there's definitely options. I cook because I know what's going in the food, and I also you save some money, things like that. So there's options there. I've
I
been
would
on
also
plenty of plant based dates.
oh, plant-based dates.
Mhm.
So that's like when both of you are plant-based, or
Mhm.
would you? All right. So would you take a woman to a plant-based restaurant knowing that she's not plant-based? Is that like a risky thing to do for you?
Um, I would maybe not on the first date,
Hmm.
you know, but again, me personally, like I would try her to see, where
See
she's
where she
at,
is. Yeah.
you know. And again, with me too, like you don't have to be, plant based or vegan for me to take you serious. But like if you're immediately turned off by that, that kind of shows me you don't have so much of an open mind, and
Yeah.
then that could kind of lead to, you being that way in other areas that we get into. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I would also say that you being plant-based shows a level of discipline for your mental health and your body, you know?
sure.
It just shows that you're able to sacrifice certain things in your life, meat,
Hmm.
for a bigger purpose, which is, your health and, over your overall health, right? That's what it's for.
Hmm.
That's what it's for.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. It
And
does
when
take
when
discipline.
when women see discipline in men, that's attractive. When they say, "Oh, this guy's able to limit himself or control himself from doing certain things," they find that attractive.
Hmm.
So keep that in mind, guys. Find some level of discipline in life. It doesn't have to be plant-based, but definitely discipline yourself from certain things and see how that goes. See how that plays when you're, dating out there or trying to attract women.
Hmm. Being able to have delayed gratification, very important.
Yes, delayed gratification,
Hmm. A lot of things that are instant gratification. Um, you know, I keep it on
And
the
the
fitness level for now. But
I
yeah,
mean
those
the
snacks,
world's
things like that.
yeah, the world's filled with instant gratification,
Hmm.
fucking fast food, snacks, social media,
Hmm.
trying to get you with the bullshit that you just don't need.
The
You really
hub.
only need the basics. OnlyFans.
Hmm.
We're talking about fitness right now, but but yeah, man, instantly delay the gratification, discipline yourself, stay on your purpose. Your fitness has to be a part of your purpose. And how do you think? So we're heading into we're in 2023. How would someone? What's a good way to set a fitness goal as a man right now? What
Hmm.
should they? What type of things should they look for when creating a fitness goal for themselves?
Okay. I think this plays into like what I do with my clients as well.
Mhm.
You want to have a long-term goal, what you eventually want, but you want to break that up into achievable goals. So,
Yes. Oof.
you know, if you want to eventually have a certain weight, you break that down week by week,
Mhm.
because again, you don't want to be in a situation where your body is going through rapid changes. There's always going to be a
Mhm.
drawback to that.
Yeah.
So if you eventually want to lose 20 pounds, break that up month by month. Okay. So like 5 months, 1 month I could lose 5 pounds, this much by week. And it also keeps you going. When you reach those short term goals along the way to your long term goal, it motivates you to keep going. So
Mhm.
don't make something that's so overwhelming for you um, at first. You know.
Yeah. Keep everything simple. I say that a lot to like when my family members or like other people come up to me and they ask, "Oh, how do you stay so dedicated to the gym?" I kept it simple. Kept all
Hmm.
my workouts simple. I didn't try to make anything too complicated or too crazy. You just have to show up, but as long as you keep it simple and build a routine that fits your life, you'll start seeing results and you'll start seeing the changes in your life as well. All right. So, what would you say was the most challenging thing about plant-based or a challenging diet that you tried while plant-based?
Hmm. It's different for everybody.
Hmm.
Like for me, giving up meat was pretty easy. Um, like I didn't really have any like cravings or anything like that going back.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, the dairy, eggs, sweets, that was tough. That was tough. Giving
Yeah.
up pizza, very tough. Um,
Oh yeah. I mean, there's vegan pizza now, right?
there is. There is. It doesn't sound too great when you say it, but there's some good ones, believe it or not.
Yeah. They have a lot of vegan selection now, guys. Like there's there's vegan chicken, there's vegan seafood, vegan
Hmm.
cheese, vegan butter. So you don't really have to change too much out of your life. It's just different substitutions now that you would have to make.
True. I do want to say though, um, the alternatives are good. The meat alternatives, you got
Hmm.
Impossible burgers, things like that. They taste good, and it helps you with the transition. But the the core of being plant based is having the whole foods. So
Yeah.
in their natural form as best as possible. So you can still get into danger if you overindulge in those substitutes. But you want the core of it again is the clean diet, clean whole foods as best as possible. That's where you'll see most of the benefits.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So those those vegetables, those beans,
Mhm. And the
you
fruits, of
still
course.
you still yeah, you eat uh what's it called?
Mm.
Yeah, you still eat carbs and all that. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about keto. Yeah.
Mhm. And yeah, I'm on basically a high carb diet. And when I still go into a calorie deficit when I'm trying to lose body fat,
Hmm.
it's not a problem. So carbs are not the enemy.
Mm. Carbs are
Mhm.
not the enemy. I love my carbs, man.
Yeah,
I
they're
love I
good.
love my pasta. I love the bread, the bagels, all
Mhm.
that. I would say that like once I get older, I'm probably gonna cut out chicken and beef, but not seafood. I want to be a pescatarian,
Sure.
but small maybe vegan in the future. Who knows? But I
Mhm.
definitely want to try being a pescatarian.
Yeah, there's definitely good. What I would say to anyone thinking about going plant based or things like that.
Hmm.
Well, it's not completely necessary if you want to be healthy. If you want
Yeah.
to go to that next level, in my personal belief, it's a good option. But things like fish and eggs, you know, very good animal products. Um, you know, things above that, the pork, the beef, you got to really look into where these things are sourced from and what they're doing to your body. Um,
Hmm.
so if you're having areas in your life where you're not seeing improvement, or you have different areas where you feel could be better, I would say look into that.
How do you think your overall health is making the transition from from regular to plant based?
For me personally, it definitely improved. And again, what got me into it was the mental aspect. Um, Things like gut health and how that affects your levels of well-being. Um, they've linked gut health to like anxiety and depression, things like that. So me personally, I've definitely saw a big benefit. I've just felt more comfortable in my own body. Social
Yeah.
settings, being able to articulate, memory, things like that. That's gonna be different for every person, of course.
Right.
So you have to keep that in mind. But me personally, that's what I saw.
So like I know the protein supplements I take right now, they actually contain like animal byproducts, which is crazy. You know, when you
Mhm.
actually read those ingredients, you'll be surprised about how much like the things that we ingest, the things that we ingest actually contain like animal byproducts. Do
Yeah.
you take any protein that's like do you take vegan protein or something like that, or do you get all your protein from just whole food?
I do use protein supplements for sure.
Mhm.
And so yeah, they are vegan and they come from hemp and pea protein.
Mm.
So yeah, same amount basically as like whey and stuff like that. And that's another thing too that got me on it as well. I was always lactose intolerant, so I would be trying to down these whey protein shakes, and you know, the result wasn't so good. Let me just
Stomach
say
be
that.
fucked up, man.
Yes,
Yo,
the
my
bubble
stomach be
guts
fucked up now off them
going
shits.
crazy.
But the vegan protein is just so damn expensive. Like I bought it one time and it was amazing. Don't get me
Mm,
wrong, but
okay,
it's like twice as much as regular protein, bro. And it's like protein in itself is already expensive. But
that's true.
yeah,
Depends on where you get it, I guess. How much do you pay for whey protein?
I think I pay around 70 for 5 pounds.
Oh, okay, that's on the
Yeah, it's like a big
bigger side.
jug. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
How much is whey protein for like 5 pounds?
I don't really get it in bulk like that. I think what's
Mm.
mine like 32 ounces, like the medium size, but mine's like $30. Used to be
What's that?
25,
Is
but
that like 10 servings or something?
I'm not sure exactly. But it lasts me like a good 2, 3 months. I take
Really?
like two
What?
scoops. Yeah,
And wait, it's only 32 ounces?
maybe 2 months.
2 months? Wow.
Mhm.
I'd be blowing through
I might have my
protein,
measurements wrong, but yeah, it might last me 2 months. That's all I know.
bro. I'd be blowing through protein sometimes, man.
Mm,
But on my weight journey, I was a hard gainer for a long time, and I was just playing around with different supplements and trying to get it all right.
mhm.
Came to realize all you needed is a big calorie surplus and extra protein. You don't really need all that extra shit. You don't need those mass gainers, anything like
Yep.
that. You just
That's
need
just
calorie
carbs
surplus.
basically added to a protein shake anyway. So
Yes, that's all
mhm,
it is. It's just filler, and
that's
it's
right.
gonna give you a fucking stomach at the end of the day. But yeah, all right. So, what do you think is the biggest mistake people make when working out?
Mm. The biggest mistake I think is using more weight than you're ready for.
Mhm.
Like I see all the time people um, just doing the exercise just to get the weight up there, like they're trying to impress somebody.
Ego lifters.
Exactly, you got it. But I think what's most important is you feeling the muscle working and you having complete control over the weight while you're doing it. You're not
Yeah.
gonna get muscle gains by just throwing the weight up there, up and down. You know,
Yep. You'll
tempo
just
is important.
you'll just
You
probably get
know,
injured.
that's all. That's all that's gonna happen. Really,
Yep.
I've been there myself.
I,
So yeah,
you said tempo. What'd you say about tempo?
yeah, tempo is important. So like slowing it down on the eccentric. As the weight's coming
Mm.
down, don't just drop it. You know, um,
What's essential for the people out there who don't know?
eccentric is the portion of the movement that goes with gravity, or that's easier.
So the
So a lot of
control
people,
on the way down.
right? A lot of people, they just leave that whole like they just drop the weight,
Mhm.
but you can get a lot of benefits from that as well during the stretch of the muscle. You know, um, so that's important as well.
Yeah, I think that is a big mistake people do in the gym too, is just try to lift more than what they're ready for, especially when
Mhm.
they're starting off. They want to. I could say this about myself. Like when I first started working out, I wasn't able to put up 135 for a very long time, and I made that a goal for myself. I
Mhm.
wanted to put up 135, but I had to start with the empty bar and get the form right. Form is key more than anything else when you're putting up heavy weight. Because if your form isn't there, you're just going to start developing bad habits when you're lifting up bigger weights, and then you're going to find yourself getting injured. So that form is important. Starting off with light weights. Don't be ashamed to start off with the empty bar. I've gone through it. Have you ever gone through an empty bar?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
We all
Yeah.
go through it at some point, and it's just the way it is for you to develop better habits for yourself in the gym, so you don't fucking get hurt, and so that you look like you know what you're doing in the gym. You don't like, yo. There's so many times where I see people like doing a just like a crazy fucking workout, and I'm just like, yo,
Mm.
and they're just trying to put up heavy weight because they see everybody else doing it. It's like, take the
Right.
weight off, fix your form, and just put it up right. That's it.
Yeah. It's a lot of people don't want to take their time with things.
Yeah.
You think that if you lift heavier, you'll get what you want quicker, but that's not really how it works.
Yeah. So this has been a great episode. I hope you guys learned a lot from us, me and Conrad. Conrad, where can the people find you? Do you have an Instagram page?
Not at this time. I'm working on getting my fitness page together because
Okay.
I want to be able to show my clients what's going on and where a common place where people can talk about these kind of things. So that's coming soon. But thanks
All
for the
right.
shout out.
So it's coming soon, and when he does have it, we'll let you guys know when it's ready. But hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you guys have any questions for us, feel free to reach out. Remember, guys, I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. So subscribe to the video, like, comment, let me know who you want to see on here, what other content you want to see on here. If you like the fitness content, what other fitness content you'd like me to get into. And I hope you guys like the episode. We're out.